I think we're ready to go. Okay, we're ready to go. I see that our board chair just arrived. So with that, maybe just do our territorial acknowledgement and then hand it over to you. Okay. Okay. All right. Welcome everyone to the committee of the meeting. We're all getting a little practice as we haven't been here for quite some time. So everyone's getting settled and remembering how to use the technology. With that being said, I would like to acknowledge that we are privileged to be on the unceded and ancestral territories of the Squamish and Stswoon Nations. And do you want me to carry on? Yeah. Okay, I'll just carry on for a bit and then our board chair Rebecca will take over. Is there anyone who would be prepared to make the recommendation that the agenda of this meeting be approved?
So moved. And second.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Ian. How about some minutes down below that need to be adopted? Is there anyone prepared to?
That the minutes of the committee, the whole meeting held on February 9th, 2022 be adopted. Just point of order. We're supposed to use these mics? Yes. And the computer mic off. Right. And I hear my voice echoing back, which means I'm picking up somebody else's live mic, I would imagine. I just want to make sure I'm not doing anything.
It sounds like it's feedback from the actual amplifier over there. I don't think it's from.
Okay, good.
But it's a great reminder that when we are finished speaking to turn off the mic.
Can we turn the volume on that down? Do we need it? Because there's no public.
Probably on live stream to hear.
If the speaker isn't.
Yes.
There's a microphone inside the speaker which gets fed into.
Got it.
So I think I made the motion for the minutes of February 9th.
Yes.
And I was second.
Okay, thank you, Ian, and thank you, Rick, and thank you, Ian. And we have a second recommendation for some more minutes.
Oh, you didn't pass those yet.
Oh, okay, I see that those are passed, thank you. All right, now we'll go on to the next set of minutes. Is there someone who would like to make that recommendation?
That the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held on February 9th, 2022 be adopted.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you, Rick, and thank you, Ian. Those minutes have been passed. That recommendation is adopted.
We haven't voted actually.
I'm really out of practice, not only with the technology, but also the rules of order of this meeting. Is there anyone opposed to adopting that set of minutes? Seeing none, now it is officially passed. All right. That brings us down to number 3, trustee items. I see nothing here. Presentations, I see nothing. Which brings us on to item number 5, our information items. Calendar updates and upcoming events. That's Rebecca and Danielle. Would you like to speak to that?
Sure. Okay, so as everyone's probably aware, today we have the employee recognition launch here at the school board office. So I'm just gonna let everybody know that we're gonna actually have quite a bit of turnout. There's gonna be a lot of people attending, so that's awesome. So that means that we're gonna have to, we're gonna have gatherings in this room, also in the conference room A and B, to make sure that we don't exceed capacity limits, because we're only allowed to get 50% capacity. So I was just gonna mention, it might be a good idea to have, like maybe the trustees and even some of the senior staff scattered, so that we're not all in this room, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's really good. We have a lot of people coming today, so higher than usual, so that's good for their recognition launches, which is awesome.
There are lots of people to recognize. Like there's a lot of people coming, but are.
I think there's about 5. Yeah. 5. Yeah, there's about 5 of them.
Good.
Yeah. Well, so let's see what else, if there's anything else on the over. So we do have the next board meeting, just so everyone is aware, is going to be in Pemberton. And after that, we're going to be having the BCSDA AGM in Vancouver in person. Oh,
like allergies and things.
Oh, yeah. Me too. And then April 27th, we have our tentative education, well, it's not tentative, we're gonna have the truth and reconciliation education session. And I think we're gonna be speaking about that in a couple minutes. And also just want to mention, we are going forward with the in-person retirement function this year, which is scheduled for May 5th. Yeah, that's great. So all the people that haven't been able to attend the retirement functions during COVID, I think will be invited as well, so that will be good.
That's an evening event.
That's right.
Same venue as usual, sorry,
I'm not sure if the venue is. They will be talking about
to be announced.
to be announced.
BCSTA AGM, how many trustees are going? Is there?
I think most, Celeste and, okay, Celeste and Cynthia, or sorry, yeah, Rachel, you're away as well. I think everyone else is attending, except maybe not Dave Wall.
Okay.
Yeah, support. Yeah, and I'll be there, Chris will be there. So, yeah. Yeah. So looking forward to going to that with you all. And the main board meeting will be in Whistler. And we'll have the Whistler custodial employee recognition. Is there any questions?
So April is Memberton and May and Whistler.
Yeah, that's right. Any questions about upcoming trustee events or dates? Anything of this? Okay, and then the next item, I believe, is Ian.
We were just on.
Yeah, I attended the BCSTA Provincial Council back in February 12th. It was planned for the full day from 8:30 to 4:30. I think with the new electronic voting system, they can vote a lot quicker, get through a lot more material quicker. And we were out of there by 11 o'clock, actually, out of our own home, so Zoom. So thanks to our Steve, she has put the agenda and all the items on in there in our agenda for today's meeting. So read there. I also have a hard copy, it's primitive, but it does have all the information. Good discussions. There were no motions, no emergent issues to discuss. So we got through it very quickly. The one thing I did want to point out is that there will be directors, people wishing to put their name forward or recommend somebody. I believe it's March 21st. If you're considering being a director or running for president or vice president. And the elections will be held on April 23rd. Any questions? Rick?
Just whether the rest of the board realized that Stephanie will not be running for president against Stephanie.
And also, is that, and also something new for the vice president? Vice president?
The vice president is
Or,
Carolyn Brody.
I guess.
seriously, sorry.
Any other questions?
I think you'll probably see Carolyn running for president.
Thank you.
Do you want to just finish off?
I could. Yeah, okay.
Do we have to have his mics on then while we're?
Should we?
Because we're all saying stuff, but not all the mics are on, so.
Yes.
All right, if there's nothing else from Ian, then we will move on to item 5C, which is budget clarification, school psychologist, and I'll hand that over to you, Mr. Kumar. Or Mr. Nicholson.
We'll
swift recovery.
All right, thank you, everybody. Yes, folks are able to join us today, so hopefully I do them proud with the response. So we have been posting between 2.6 and 2.0. I've had that position since around 2015, but for the last year, we were unable to fill the position. So what you saw in the budget is a reflection of that. Since we were able to fill it, it was maintained at 2.0, and monies went towards additional assessments. So we're able to run some clinics in the summer, et cetera, for hopefully to catch up a little bit. And currently, the 3.0 is what we're aiming for. Still not filled, but we do have an applicant, and Phil is working on it. So we're very hopeful to have that 3.0 soon and to maintain that level of service. Just a question.
Thanks, Chris.
It's gonna be a while for us.
All right, any other questions pertaining to that? All right, seeing none, that brings us to item 6, discussion items, BCSTA annual general meeting, which is over to Rachel and Danielle.
We're back to you.
I knew we did that.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think we just discussed everyone that was attending, so that's great. And we were thinking that maybe we could come together and have dinner one night. And so we just wanted to ask if everybody is in agreement with that and any suggestions on where we could have dinner. We try to make a reservation because everything goes up very quickly during those conferences.
So we'll have, the 4 trustees and the 2 staff. Okay, so are you interested in that? Sure.
Yes.
Rick? Yeah. So which night? Friday night?
Maybe check the agenda and make sure, I think one night they
Thursday.
Thursday usually have the opening.
They usually have the opening, so I would avoid Thursday. Saturday, it may not go as far as Sunday, so people may be leaving Saturday. So I think we narrowed it right down. Friday.
Well, there you go.
Friday it is.
Where do you want to go? You were familiar with this.
I'll just speak loudly and we'll pick up. I'm sure I would suggest if we get on this really quick and see if we can book Carneros. That's the closest place and it offers wide variety and it's a reasonable price.
Right on the water, too.
Yes, it's local. So that's my suggestion. We jump on
Rick,
that.
you're okay with all the Chinese food?
Oh. Sorry.
That we generally go?
No, that's just it's been a tradition and it doesn't have to be the tradition, that's for sure.
And we're much farther away now.
Yeah, and it was close, and
Yeah.
I think the other reason I always thought that was a good idea is because there's the vegetarians were fine, the vegans were fine with it, but it'll be equally fine at Carneros in a lot shorter walks, so.
Yeah, so the backup, so maybe first Chris Padero, second choice.
Well, we could do Chinese.
Yeah.
We'll just get carnivore.
I get it.
So someone's looking after arranging it. They'll let us know.
And the thumbs up from Archie. We're good.
Okay.
Thanks, Art.
Okay, thank you, Archie, and thank you, Danielle, and everyone for getting that organized. Sounds good. Let's move on to item 6B, the 2022-2023 school learning plan scheduling. That is Ian and Danielle.
Want me to start? If we're gonna look at doing anything different, now's the time to start planning it. We also have the elections coming in the fall. And I remember 4 years ago, had a discussion whether we wanted to have a chance for people that the trustees had been for 4 years, a chance for them to get back into school one more time. Others felt that it was probably more appropriate for the new people, give them a chance. So I just threw it out there as a discussion item. I don't have any hard and fast ideas.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the only question that I have that's kind of come about as a result of us discussing how to best do this is what the school's preference is, because some, I think, like to get it done early in the year, and some prefer later. I don't have, my preference would be for them to feel ready and the timing to kind of suit the staff best if possible,
Any other comments? Go ahead.
It seems to me that the people who have, the greatest depth of knowledge on what all the variables would be going into this decision is our staff who are in touch with our schools, to your point. And so I'd be happy if our senior staff reflected on the question and then came back with a recommendation or options. If they don't want to make a single recommendation, then options, and then that would be fine. I think I've made it known that I will right now that I'm not running for trustee again this October, so it doesn't matter to me personally whether I'm involved in the fall or whether you would prefer that somebody replacing me on the board have that experience next fall. I don't really.
I think that Rick's suggestion is a good one, have staff come back with a recommendation. And for us to try and get into schools in September, and the election is October, I don't think that's realistic. So I would think it would be later on in the year, and maybe give the new trustees some time to, release, settle in for a couple months before we throw them into that. So that's kind of my thinking.
Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Just to say thank you for the conversation. I appreciate, Celeste, your suggestion to have a conversation with our principals. I know they'll appreciate that, and appreciate the comments about potential for, new board members coming in to have that experience. So I think we've heard what you'd like us to do, and we're happy to follow up, and we'll give you an update and some options or recommendations at the next board meeting. So thank you very much.
All right, that sounds great. I think everyone knows where we stand there. Thank you everyone for your comments. Let's move on to, again, we have Chris with item 6C, Truth and Reconciliation Education Session.
Yeah, thank you very much. So just as a reminder to folks, we've been asked to provide a bit of an overview of what will be presented. So I'm sharing this on behalf of Karen LaRochelle, our district principal of English Education, who couldn't be with us. So I'm just going to ask Archie to share the screen, and I just put together one slide as a general overview, so that we'll potentially have some input in response to this. And we'll just there we go. All right, so thanks, Archie. We'll just switch so folks at home can see this as well. All right, thank you so much. So I'd like to go through this briefly, and let's think of this as a triangle where we're going to go from the macro down to the micro. So we felt we'd start with just an overview of calls to action and all related documents and initiatives such as Kindred. And then from there, move to the ministry and the ministry's responses and initiatives in response to the calls to action. And of course, we will go through what they've done, where we see these efforts through the revised curriculum, and then through our LEAs, the purpose of the equity scan, and then we'll speak to a little bit earlier that the new grad requirement that was just announced last week. And then for the ministry, we'd like to go down to our response as a district and speak to our district initiatives, as well as specific things happening in the classroom. So it's going to be quite comprehensive. It's a lot to cover in 90 minutes, but I know that Karen is working hard to provide a real, good overview. And then, of course, following the session, if there's a request or a desire for more information, of course, we're happy to share that. So we hope this meets what the board was thinking about. So let's open it up for comments. Thanks.
I think we've discussed before the opportunity for any reading in advance, because 90 minutes isn't a lot of time. So anything that we can do in advance, just to take the time to digest and do
We appreciate that. I should have put, and there will be homework, because we will have some advanced reading for you, and potentially a little activity to do on your own as well. So thanks for that reminder, and ensuring everybody knows there will be some homework ahead of time. Thanks, Les.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to let you guys know that I'm sitting on an Aqua Education committee, and we have been going through, we've got some opinions on UNDRIP, on the BC UNDRIP as well, and Truth and Reconciliation. So this is all, every time I hear it and go through it, I learn something new. So, because they're quite complex and long. So, this will be awesome.
I also want to share that we're also seeking to have some representation from our Indigenous partners to be part of the presentation as well, if they're able. But if not, we would be confident that they're sharing will do a great job. So, looking forward to this. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, Chris, maybe you can just pass along our thanks to Karen for all of the extra work that it takes to put on a presentation like this and tell her that we really do appreciate it. And we thank her, and we're really looking forward to learning and gaining more knowledge. And I think it's going to be a really interesting session, and Tyler, we're going to look forward to the homework. All right, unless there's anything else on that topic, I see nothing. Maybe we'll then move down to number 7, action items, where I see nothing again, which is nice. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
When is this session?
27.
Thank you.
April 27th.
I won't be here this morning.
Okay.
Archie just wants me to confirm, would the board prefer to have a morning or afternoon session?
So we just do a quick hands up. Morning? Afternoon? Indifferent? It looks like morning wins.
My only request is just because my schedule is getting to be very full, is just to give enough time for the homework in advance. So if we can get it more than 2 days in advance would be super, super helpful.
I won't be here, but I can attend via Zoom.
All right, that brings us to questions of clarification from the public. So we'll give it a moment, and Danielle can check and see if we have anything. All right, seeing no questions, I believe that brings us to adjournment. I don't think we have to have a vote on that. I believe we can just say that this meeting is now adjourned.
We have concluded the business of this agenda.
We have concluded the business of this agenda. Okay, so my practice. Okay, concluded the business of this agenda, and thus we can call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and we will reconvene